All right, we are live. Let's see how many comments. All right, guys. It is about 9:59, so we have another minute, and we'll get started. If you are already here, please mention the country or the city you are joining in this comment section, please, so I can see. No comments yet. Do you see? Oh, hi. We got one comment. Hi. Please mention the country you're joining from in the comments. All right. Okay, let's get started. So welcome everyone to our LinkedIn Live. Today's topic is something every SAP developer has been waiting for. How to code smarter and, well, smarter, faster, and cleaner in ABAP with AI tools. And I'm joined here by Devraj Bardhan. He is an SAP AI leader at IBM. And we have a new face today, Lars Hvam Petersen. He is a senior SAP ABAP consultant, and we will have Alex Debelic joining here very soon. He's a senior managing consultant at IBM. Well, you have seen Devraj's work, his SAP Pressbooks, and in our last session, over I think 530 people attended. So today we are going to go deeper and talk about how the smart coding happens. But now let's start with Devraj. So Devraj, you've spent years leading global SAP programs. When did you first realize ABAP development was about to change? Oh, you know what? Let's not go into the questions. Let's have an introduction. Sorry, my bad. Devraj, go ahead.
Yeah. So hi, everybody. Thank you for joining and taking time out to be in this LinkedIn live session. We are investing our time, all of us, Lars, myself, Alok, and Alex, to share our knowledge and also to learn from you. It's a give and take all the time. And I'm really happy that we have Lars here. Lars is someone that we always look up to. He is the original founder of ABAP Git. We love that much before SAP got their heads around what ABAP Git was. It was Lars who did it. And Lars, the reason you're here is because SAP has finally said that they'll do something about VS Code finally, right? But you have been doing it for years now. So I really wanted that to come up front so people know the work you're doing and how they can benefit from that while they wait for SAP to release the actual, VS Code plugins in 6 months' time, right? We are shifting left. It's AI. We can't wait for big corporations to do stuff. The reason we're having the call today is to bring a movement. The movement, the last that you started, it just can't be one person. We need more people to join in, and we're seeing that movement already happening with MCPs and people contributing to MCPs. So we wanted to keep that movement going. So really happy to be here. I lead SAP AI for IBM, and I started off as a ABAP developer like many of you way back in the late 90s. I had my first SAP certification on ABAP, so that's I have the card somewhere. Maybe I'll flash it in a while. It's a card, not a badge, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day. And then to think that I learned ABAP by reading a book and then authoring 6 books, I think it's a long journey that I've come over the last several years. So that's it from my side. Lars?
Yeah, my name is Lars. I started learning ABAP around 20 years ago, and I'm still discovering new features every week, right? And that's also what kind of makes ABAP a bit strange, but also a bit fun, right? So around 10 years ago, right, I started like wanting to share some ABAP code, and back then GitHub and Git was gaining popularity, and I was thinking, okay, why don't I just put my ABAP code on GitHub? Because I was trying to do funny things with ABAP, right? And it turned out the funny thing was actually trying to build a Git client for ABAP in ABAP. So it is possible to share the ABAP code or do something like inner source, right? Then that spun up to a lot of other projects, right? So there's ABAP Git. I also have a static analysis tool called ABAP Lint. And yeah, I try to embrace the outside world of SAP. So try to do things the way that other developers in other development languages actually do, right? So have some files on my desktop because then I think that opens a lot of possibilities doing the same thing as everybody else versus trying to invent something special, right? And AI is a good example.
Awesome. All right. We will. So Alex will be joining here very soon, right, Devraj?
Yes, he will. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So let's start with some warm-up questions, okay? And then we'll have a detailed discussion on. We'll do some deep dive questions, and we will take some questions from the public. I mean, all those who are attending, we will take your questions, highlight it, and then go from there. Devraj, you've spent years leading global SAP programs. When did you first realize ABAP development was about to change because of AI?
So, I mean, for me, this came out when obviously GPT came out, and the first thing people saw with GPT was, hey, you could actually generate code, and we saw that it couldn't generate ABAP code. So we knew that the change was coming. Obviously, with a lot of IDEs like Cursor, people started doing some CAPM programming, which is the PTP programming, quite efficiently. But ABAP is still elusive, and even today, people struggle to generate ABAP code. So we're trying to explain what tools exist and how it can be done. But for me, that pivotal moment when ABAP would change and change for good came when GPT came out. But me, even doing much before GPT came out, we knew about GPT even before GPT was public because we are IBM. And I was working on an internal research project where we started looking at, hey, can I read my ABAP code and convert it to Java or JavaScript or something like that so that I can port it easily and automatically do BTP. That was a project that I started even during the COVID times, much before GPT came out. So for me, when will ABAP actually start changing was probably around 2020, 2019, 2020 was when I seriously started considering that as a research project.
Lars, you knew it from beginning.
No, same question, right?
Yes, same question to you too.
So when will start changing? For me, I think this year actually. So not back in 2020. So I did try ChatGPT and generating ABAP code 3 years ago with GitHub Copilot, but back then it was actually more annoying than helping me. But I think the models right now are gaining a lot more knowledge about ABAP.
Absolutely.
Somehow it is actually starting to come together and working with the newer models that we see coming out. So without anything, I can just ask it to create a unit test in ABAP, right? And it actually does it without me making ever, right?
Absolutely. All right. So Devraj, this is one thing I get. I mean, this has always been in my head. It's like, what's the biggest misconception developers have about AI in ABAP?
So for me, the biggest misconception is pretty much, I will give a prompt and I'll get a fully functional program ready. That's not how AI thinks, right? And that's not how we should be looking at it. So the misconception is not that I will just ask for a code and it'll come out. It doesn't. Think of it. You're a developer. Someone gives you a function spec. What do? You understand the function spec, have a conversation with the person. You have a walkthrough with a function spec, then you write a technical spec, then you have a technical spec reviews code and it's following all guidelines, and then you start coding. It takes you several days to code, and once you code it, you iterate, you test, and then you fix bugs, and then finally you move the code to production and deploy it and then maintain it. So it's a long process. And for I think the misconception with AI is, oh, AI is going to automate everything. It can automate a few things, but not everything. And that's a misconception we want to remove by saying, you can generate parts of the code, you can become efficient, but you still have to have a human in the loop to review what's happening, give the right prompts, and do multi-shot prompting. Just not one prompt will not be enough. And then you have to use MCPs, and you have to use RAG models to make sure that the LLMs understand ABAP, because the biggest challenge with LLMs is they don't understand ABAP as much as they understand Python or Java. So that is the gap that we're trying to solve.
Lars, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I see the gap slowly closing, right? So the models are slowly gaining some more knowledge into ABAP somehow, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, misconceptions. So in the normal world, we have seen quite a few stories about AI deleted my entire drive, right? So I think in ABAP, what I like to do is I like to do my AI development off stack, right? So doing local files and not running it until I've actually seen and having a look at the code. So having AI write the code locally, me taking a look at it, and then I can put it on the system and run it, right? Because as ABAP developers, we can do a lot of things in the development system, and the stories I've seen online, right? AIs can figure out a lot of creative ways to fix things, right? Like so, if I ask it to do a unit test and it gets an error message, there's a serial number something. Well, I'm guess will we see the AI just let me just insert into Mara, then that problem is fixed. My unit test is passing, right?
Right.
So I think the process here, as Devraj mentioned, is important, right? So what is your development process? Do you actually have some development guidelines? Should the AI also follow these development guidelines? I think yes. Is there a code review step? So I think code review steps are important for AI, but just as important for humans, right? So look at the code, discuss the code, understand the code, and that's also one of the pitfalls with the AI, right? There's get a lot of code, and if you don't understand it, well, who fixes it? Well, the AI probably fixes it. But that's at least something to consider, right?
Right.
And the whole test and feedback loop, right? Like having the AI do something, how do you actually increase the feedback loop during the testing so that you can get the feedback to the developer or the AI that something failed here, go fix it, right? So getting that whole development process running, I think, is important. Also, not considering AI. With AI, I think it becomes much more important.
I have this, I'm going to put you both on spot and ask you this question. Let's see. And I want you to give me a two-liner, and that's it. Make it a little difficult for you. So in the SAP ecosystem, because this is a general question which comes from literally all the consultants, what is an AI assisted development? What does that mean to you, Devraj? Let's start with you. 2 lines.
Yeah, 2 lines. You have a house help. The house help does work for you, but it cannot replace you. That's what an AI assistant is. It does stuff for you, then you tell it to do.
AI assisted development. Okay, Lars, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. It's very
I thought about it. Yeah, I thought about it.
Now Lars is gonna come up with something awesome, huh?
No. I have not thought a lot about it, but what was not part of the question was the word agentic. Which I actually think, 2 sentences. For something to be agentic, then it needs to be unattended.
Yes.
And I think we will see a lot of attended agentic AI in ABAP, for instance, to accommodate the security questions like, do I have the agent run the unit test, and then it asks you, do you really want to run the unit test? Yes, I want to run the unit test. And that's not really agentic, right? that was my 2 sentences.
Okay, I'll accept that. All right. All
So
right.
I just wanted to give shout out. So we've got Paul Moderman on the call here. So he is one of the founders of Nova Intelligence, which is doing some awesome work in terms of bringing code remediation and understanding of ABAP code. So thanks for joining, Paul, and really happy to have you, supporting us in this, and hopefully we'll get you on a future,
Oh, we
LinkedIn
can
Live
bring
as
him
well.
in. Paul Moderman. Is that correct?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Okay. I don't know how to bring them in.
We'll see, Paul, if you want to be, on stage, we can pull you in.
We'll ask. We'll ask him.
Yes.
Paul, if you want to be on the stage, say something, and I'll bring you to the stage. I'll try at least. I'm StreamYard is first for me. This is my second session, so I'll be honest with you. All right. Okay. We have few questions, if I can. So we have a question from. I'll highlight this, and there you go. Will we soon phase where businesses can leverage vibe coding? Very good question. To automatically generate ABAP code for complete end-to-end application.
So I can answer that first, and Lars, I would like to get your opinion as well. See, ABAP is difficult, and you really can't vibe code ABAP end to end, right? But what is going to happen is AI agents and tools will help a functional person, write for developers. That's the first step I would think we'll have for business. Business can want to solve the problem. AI can create a better spec. So that's the first thing. Second thing is AI might help him test better. AI will help him validate the documentation better. The AI will help him create training documents better. That's where it'll help the business. In terms of vibe coding, if the business writes a prompt and generates some code and executes it, looks good, they will not know if it's secure. If secure, they will not know if there was prompt injection. They'll not know if the code is performant. They'll have a lot of issues. So I would not recommend that a business vibe code something and takes it to production. They can vibe code a prototype to see how it looks, but they should hand it over to a developer. It's just like you will not be your own doctor. You might be your own doctor if you have a cold, but you will not be your own doctor if you have a serious illness. You'll go to a doctor to fix it. That's where I will go.
Lars.
Yeah, I think that phase is today. So as Devraj mentioned, so if there is a good functional specification and a good description of what actually to be done, I think you can hand that to an AI and have it write ABAP code that is somewhat correct, right? Question is if it works. So you need the tests. Maybe you can also have the AI do the test, right? Hand over to developer. So I think if you have in your company have like an inner source setup, right? It doesn't really matter where the code comes from. Is that a business person that vibe codes it? Is a developer that does it, or is it all AI assisted? Because in your development process, you will then have your handover to the developer, at least depending on your process. Like I'd recommend like a review step where the developers that will be responsible for the code takes a look at the code, right? And as part of that review process, can also do different automated things to make sure that it doesn't have the most common security flaws and or it follows the development guidelines of your company, right? And having all that incorporated, then it also becomes a feedback loop to both the humans and the AI. Oh, you're not following the naming standards for this because the AI will just do something. And as an ABAP developer, I also don't remember all the naming standards and what to do and what not to do. So I also need the feedback loop at different customers to tell me, oh, we're doing this in this way at this customer. Okay, it's fine. Let me just change the code. If I'm an AI, then I also take a look at it and say, oh, it's fine. I just change the code, right?
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Good. So we have Paul ready to join us if you can pull him in.
Okay. Let's see.
Yes. So while we're trying to get Paul in, I think the questions that are coming up around and a lot of people asking are, what are expected tools available for ABAP MCP. So we'll cover that. I think while we're trying to get Paul in, one plugin is how many of you, what tools are you using to develop ABAP code? Are you using SAP GUI? Are you using Eclipse? Are you using Bash? Are you using VS Code? If you guys can just put that in the comment section, I think we just want to see how many people are using which tools, because I think it's important for us to help you do the right vibe coding with the right IDE.
Yeah, I kind of have it the other way around. So why don't the ecosystem just support everything? Let people choose the editor. If that is Notepad, SE80, or Eclipse, it all or Claude Code, it all has kind of different features. But
It
again,
has.
where the code comes from, yeah, there will always be a new cool editor, right? And if it goes to the same review and development process, yeah, I don't really care. Um, of course, some of the older editors don't have all the cool features. Um, but yeah,
Yes.
I've skipped using Eclipse and went directly to using VS Code.
Yes.
But
So I think for vibe coding, my recommendation is that all of you should start installing VS Code on your laptops, connect it to SAP system, bring in Lars's plugins. Last we might just put a link of that plugins here so that people can understand the ABAP link plugins there. Bring it in, and then start getting familiar with VS Code. And reason why VS Code is important is because VS Code will allow you to do IDE with agentic IDEs like client, for example. It will connect to cloud code. It will connect to any backend. It'll with things like GitHub Copilot if you want, and once you have all of that, and it'll just the ecosystem of MCPs will also be able, you can plug them in. It just makes it so much more scalable. Eclipse will not allow you to do a lot of those things, and you definitely cannot do a lot of them in Bash or GUI. So I think the go-to platform going forward will become VS Code, because that's kind of become the standard ID for mostly most developers. I know you can still use cursor or anything for ABAP, right? If you want to, but you still need the plugins. You still need something to make it work. And last, you can't be creating plugins for every ID in the world, right?
no, I agree. So just use VS Code. VS Code is not super fancy as all the other ones, but Microsoft they are some months behind and catching up. They look at the cool features and then they implement it. It will not be latest cutting edge like Claude Code and Klein and some of the new things, but it's fine for me. Right, everything takes 5 years in SAP. So waiting a few months for a cool feature, it's fine. Like just to note, so using VS Code, I see there's like two approaches. Like you connect your VS Code to the system directly, or you have VS Code work on files only, and then push those files to Git. I just have the files and then push it to Git, and then I import that into the system with ABAP Git. There is also the MCP approach, and I think we have Alice here in the chat that has a lot of MCP tooling implemented and also blogging on it. Go follow her on LinkedIn for the latest and greatest on MCP. I have not tried a lot of the MCP stuff yet because I just ask Copilot to do it and it does it on the files, right?
Wow, that is something. All right. So obviously this is first of all, welcome, Paul. Paul, if you want to go ahead and do a quick intro about yourself, let us all know who you are and what you do.
Yeah, I'll make it quick. So hi,
It's
I'm
fine.
Paul Moderman. You might recognize me maybe from like boring enterprise nerd stuff I do with Yelena Perfieva or other stuff. I've also written a few books on SAP and data science and machine learning. I'm a founding engineer at Nova Intelligence, where we're doing AI agents with ABAP, UI5, and that kind of stuff. Yeah, well, that's it. I'll just keep it simple. I'm a huge dork for AI. That's the way I'll put it.
Please add more to that AI agents and ABAP. You got me there. Oh, you got muted. I can't hear you. Can you hear him? Something happened.
Yeah, no, maybe now.
Is it coming back? Is it back?
Yep.
Okay. So I want to connect the dot to something I heard Devraj say, because I joined this late. I just saw it pop up on my phone as I was doing something else. I was like, oh, interesting, and I just joined it that way. But I came in right as Devraj, you were describing sort of gaps in ABAP knowledge, right? And so when people ask me about that, what I like to say is I like to say it like this, and this applies to like many things. Especially for the frontier models like Claude, Gemini, OpenAI, GPT, whatever, I actually view it kind of like those models know ABAP kind of like how I know ABAP, which is to say, I have 0 function modules memorized. I have 0 tables and fields memorized. I do not stick that inside my brain. And those things also like hallucinate like weird things all the time. But if you just are like feeding the right context at the right time, those things are amazing. And then so like Lars was talking about, and I think some other folks talking about as well, this agentic flow of like letting Claude or whatever AI reflect on like compiler output or type checker output or whatever in the midst of its process, and then just saying, oh, hey, I tried to compile this and I got this message, can you fix it? But just like stitching that loop together yourself. Like, don't force yourself to like prompt it again. Let the AI like reflect back on those things until it solves the problem itself. And not every time, but often it does. And what it's also really great at, because it has this like these representations that the deep neural nets have of like programming concepts, the AI finds it fascinatingly adept at going from, I have this chunk of code in Python. Can you make me an ABAP thing that does something like this? It's incredible at stuff like that. It's incredible. And I know there are transpilers and you can do a sort of a formalized version of that. Lars knows a lot about that. Like what the AI has is this flexibility of like, just sit there and dream about creativity to the AI's like knowledge that is like powerful, but also needs to be augmented by pick your flavor of RAG or whatever, graphs or whatever. That means like the doors are so unlocked more than most people realize. And so let me finish with just one other thing, is that I don't want to be a hater. I'm not a hater on this, but I do think Joule has missed the boat a little bit on this. Joule has a little bit more of this like ChatGPT, like one blop feel to it. That's not agentic. That's not like figure. That's just like that. Okay, here's an analogy. I'll go one more analogy. Joule is like if you had a smart intern who memorized the entire ABAP manual, and the other ones are like having like a really a super genius person who didn't have the manual memorized but knew where the manual was for any language. That I would rather have that person than the person who's like an intern who's like memorized the thing. Like I want the flexibility to go where I want to go, rather than always output a perfect loop back into blah 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 whatever. Like, yeah, but what if I don't want to do that? What if I want to go somewhere interesting? That's the power of the frontier ones, and Joule has kind of missed that boat, I would say.
Yeah. Okay,
I'm done ranting. I'm sorry about that, guys.
Devraj, I have something for you. So since you guys have worked on this AI generated ABAP code, how accurate is that? And where is it strong and where is it weak as of now?
Yeah, so as of now, I think very simple things it can do pretty well. If you ask it to do medium complex or very complex things, it will falter. It cannot read a lot of big codes and try to optimize it. It's not good at that. So that's where we need Paul and his company to come up with magical solutions, which he's working on, and I love the company and the work they're doing, right? So we'll talk a little bit about that, Paul. But the thing it is good at is, if you're just using it as a prompt, I forgot the next keyword. It'll prompt you good. You speed up your development a little bit. You need to write a small function module, and you give it, hey, here's the table I need to, you to create a function model for it or a CDS view for it. It'll go create that for you. Small nuggets. It'll do that properly. I think the main thing is you need to know which tools you have to use to do it, right? You just cannot go to ChatGPT and say generate an ABAP code. That's not going to work. You need
Right.
to have an ID. You need to have a ID which is agentic. You need to then have something like client sitting on top of it. You then need it to be plugged into a LM that understands SAP
Right.
and or like a cloud code or whatever, and then on top of it have a good link to GitHub and a good link to MCP. Then you have all the tools. I think today's call is to tell you guys, go first thing you do is install VS Code. Two is connect your VS Code to your with ABAP Lin, right? So that you have it can consume as ABAP. Understand GitHub, understand ABAP Git, connect to SAP system so that you get your code into your VS Code, and then configure it with client or some agentic IDE and a very good LLM behind it. Plug into the MCPs that the world is building, not SAP. It's a community event. So this is where the community can thrive, right? And Paul, the only person doing really good work so far has been Lars in terms of contributing so much to the community. Now
So
we need a lot more Lars. Just can't be one Lars, right?
Lars is like, no.
well, by the way, I both agree and disagree, Devraj, and that's and the reason I disagree is that it is large, but there are others as well doing amazing things. I think Alice is on
We
this
need more. We need
call,
more Lars.
and my dear friend and colleague Marcello Urbani is also doing amazing work there too, and he's offering to the world. Like kudos to Lars, of course, for like being a super center of this, but like there are other people doing these things too. So shout out to all those people doing that stuff. For sure.
Yeah, shout out to Marcello and Alice that is also on the call here.
Yeah.
Should I continue?
We have Alice Vino Gradova. Sorry, I messed the last name up. Do you think, Lars, this is a question for you. Can AI help identify performance issues or inefficient code?
Yes. I think try passing the ABAP code, and this is very easy now. Devraj says install VS Code. Okay, install VS Code. Get the free plan from GitHub and connect GitHub profile. That's 50 credits for free every month, so you can get started today, no credit card. Then take a piece of ABAP code from the system and paste it into VS Code and ask the AI to identify the bugs in the ABAP code. And it comes up with a lot of things. Some of it is performance issues, and some of it will be stylistic, but try, right? But it finds a lot of things. So yeah, it can help, but it's just like having a developer go to this code and find the errors. There will be a lot of errors all the time, but the important things is to identify which ones is important for the company. Like, because if it's worked for the last 20 years, it's fine. It's not broken. If it's not super clean, it's fine. If it survived 20 upgrades without any changes during spout and it's been running, it's fine. It's not stupid if it works.
Perfect. All right, so I'm going to take this time to Alex Debelic. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Awesome. Alex, where are you joining from? Introduce yourself for this group.
I think Alex is on the holodeck, by the way. I think that's where he is.
Yes.
I was going to say something, but then I was like, I don't want to comment on his background.
I'm joining from holodeck from Prague, from Czech Republic. Hi, everyone. I'm a SAP technical architect. I work for IBM. Sorry to be late for this session today. But great to be here with you.
Alex, tell us more about your work. What do you do? A little bit more.
Well, basically, I have been working for I think 10 years with Devraj, mostly within this innovation team at IBM. That is most recently what I have been doing. I don't know if Devraj already did some introduction about this, but our objective was always to explore latest technologies, latest trends and everything, and put it into SAP context So right now it is, of course, Gen AI. Then there is also a lot of discussion about clean core and everything. So yeah, tackling with latest and greatest and the art of the possible, like they like to say it. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, you know what? Since you brought clean core up, I always get this question. And anybody can take this question. Can AI help enforce clean core and coding standards automatically?
100% yes. I mean, there's always like caveats, right? But like, if you want a coach to get you there and you want somebody to connect to tools and have the tools do reviews for you and then give you pointers on finding the things, like it's not the AI alone that's going to do it, but the AI will turbocharge you to get there, is my perspective. Yeah.
Lars.
Yeah, so I agree with Paul. It can help you get there. Ask it to clean corify, and it will do something like it does need a bit more context to figure out what is, as Paul also mentioned, it doesn't remember all the tables and what is clean and what is not clean. Like I think something like coding standards, yeah, you can feed that to the AI, right? But much of the coding standards can also be done with static analysis that is cheaper and faster to run. So not all is AI, but
yeah,
everything can probably, AI can give you a result for all the queries that you have here, right? But if it's good.
And it's a good point too, Lars, because also take for example, like just this past summer, the like SAP's latest clean core guidance was released. Well, none of the frontier models have that in the training yet, right? So like, if you want to do things to like a certain standard, like you need to do more work than just like vomit a prompt into ChatGPT. You need to do more work than that. The AI will turbocharge that, but you need to do more work than that. And that's what companies like Nova, if like just one shell like that, but other places also are doing things like that, and like augmenting like the central brain power with like perspectives on that enhance that.
Right. Devraj, I was going to ask you too.
Yeah.
Are you here?
I'm back. I was just trying to get a demo set up. So yeah. Repeat the question.
The question is pretty simple. Can AI help enforce clean core and coding standards automatically?
So I would say no at this time, because it doesn't understand. The only thing that can possibly do to a certain extent is Joule for developers, and therefore you want to try that for clean core. But I think clean core is one aspect that SAP is driving quite a lot. But I think given where we are today, Paul, and coding done right, so and to generate coding even if it's unclean, as long as it does generate code that is usable, that I think is good enough to start with. And then clean core is like is like, will it modify CP? No, that's definitely bad, right? But if you are having an IDOC was not clean core way back, but it's now kind of semi-clean or acceptably clean in the future, right? So I think there is limited knowledge, so you'll have to create a RAG model and create MCPs and teach the LLMs what clean core is. And I think, Paul, you guys are working towards that in the Nova Intelligence product as well, which maybe you want to just talk about a little bit, because that's cutting edge technology that you guys working on, right?
Yeah, I mean, I want to make sure I'm being respectful. I don't want to just come on and shill whatever. You guys okay if I talk about Nova a little bit?
Yes, because
okay,
it is part of it is part of what we do.
Yeah. Okay. So Nova is we take the foundation AI models, the absolute bleeding edge stuff, like I mentioned before, this high IQ models that maybe don't have all of SAP memorized kind of stuff. And we build incredibly powerful scaffolding and harnessing for those models to take an agentic approach to analyzing, writing, debugging, unit testing, all the stuff with a code writing goal. I'll talk about code writing first, but there's other pieces too. With a goal when writing code of not just, hey, give me a function that does X, but give me a program that does X and Y and Z and A and B and C, and write unit tests to test all that stuff. And when the unit tests fail, correct what's wrong, either with the unit test or with the program, right? That's all still like you can have an AI go on for minutes, tens of minutes at a time to do these things. We're still in a place right now where you can't just like close your eyes and like ship it off to wherever, right? Process. But speaking as somebody who's I've been an ABAP developer, I think 15 years now. Like given the same task, me with an AI and me without an AI tools, it's completely night and day, right? In neither case am I letting go of my control. But if I get my brain power augmented with like, let me put it this way, if this helps, just from the code side, but it's the difference between if like you're in college and your professor says you need to write a paper, right?
Right.
It's really hard to go from a blank paper but it's easier to go from one sentence to one paragraph, right? That first piece is really tough. And that's what a lot of coding agents can get you, is from zero to something and then something to refinement. And you, the developer right now, are responsible for refinement to completion, right? So that's one piece. What Nova also does is two other pillars. One pillar is system documentation, but this is deeper. So like, I mean, many of us have probably like copy and pasted like a code block into ChatGPT and said, explain this, right? That's not enough, because ChatGPT, for example, can't follow the links to like the deeper functions, the deeper classes that are referenced in that code. ChatGPT can't do anything except read the text that's there. What Nova can do is like look at that thing and then double click into all the pieces of those things and create a much fuller and much deeper picture of that thing. Where we've had customers who are seriously impressed with, like, they have this giant pile of like smelly garbage from decades ago, right, that nobody wants to touch, because the woman who did it has long since retired to the beach, and good for her, right? But like someday something's gonna break from that, and then some poor developer will have to like put on the equipment and go spelunking in a cave to try to figure out this unholy mess. If the AI can double click on things and follow all the steps and traces and whatever, like, here's the context you're going to need, meatbag, to go find the right thing, then your job is made incredibly easier. And what Nova can do is that for everything at once, right?
Yeah.
So like you get the starting point to jump into right away. Mm-hmm. The other piece, which I think is also really cool, and we're still refining it, but it's so cool, is automating or augmenting fit to standard. So in other words, take like an ancient, like again, an ancient report program or an ancient like core mod or whatever, and then analyze that against what's available in like either the public cloud or private cloud, like highest tier of clean core or available stuff, and getting the recommendations for, hey, you did this 20 years ago. By the way, there's a Fiori that does that now. You can retire this code. Right. Or hey, there's now a proper key user enhancement that can handle this. Go here instead. And then what Nova can do is also write the code for the key user enhancement if it's one of the values too, right? Yeah. Again, that also is still not like close your eyes and wander away. It's very much collaborate with it. But like by creating the frameworks, by creating the tools, by creating the scaffolding and frameworks that like get you there, like it's like looking at it's like you're at the bottom floor of, you know, some famous tall building, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And in one case you're looking at the door to the stairs, and the other case you're looking at the elevator. Like I'm always going to pick the elevator if I'm on the bottom floor of like the Empire State Building and I want to go look at the observation thing, right? I'm always going to take the elevator if the elevator is not broken. Nova is the elevator for that stuff.
Are you guys in the US or where are you guys located?
All over the place. So the founding team is in San Francisco and Frankfurt, Germany. I myself am in Minnesota in the US. But we also
you're
have people
3 hours away from me.
Oh, okay.
I'm in Iowa.
I grew up in Iowa. I'm from Iowa.
Yeah. I live in Des Moines, Iowa, West Des Moines, Iowa.
Oh, yeah. West Des Moines. Okay.
25 years.
Yeah.
Small world, yeah.
That's
Small
awesome.
world.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know,
small
right?
world. That's a very small world.
Yeah, that is. All right, I've got this good question. I know it's.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get some. All right, which LLM do you think is capable to generate the most? I know everybody's gonna have a different one, but let's start with you, Lars.
I think I actually answered that in the chat, but Claude Opus 4.5.
Yeah, the one which came out just recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the one everybody's using, and also GitHub tripled the token cost for it, so because I guess everybody's using it for everything nowadays.
Yeah. Oh, you don't like Grok? Just kidding. Just kidding.
I've not tried Grok. I tried the Haiku, the small and fast one, to write ABAP code, and it didn't really work. It did try a lot of things, but it didn't work out. But Cloud Opus, it more or less gets it right all the time.
Is that the same for everyone? What do you think, Alex? Is that what you're using?
Well, not really. So my expectations are on SAP. So I kind of still think, although everything is evolving as we see it all the time, but SAP is the one who has it all. And basically, my expectation, and we saw this recent TechEd announcement also from SAP. Everyone is, I guess, waiting for this Q2 26 to see what is going to happen then. But yeah, my bet is on that one. But let's see. So far, it was not that great, I must say. But from some, I guess, from some logic perspective, I would expect them to have this edge because they own the stuff and they have everything they need. Well, let's see.
Devraj, there is a question I have for you. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alex, by the way.
Can you just add me to the other screen as well after I speak, so that I can share my screen, because I want to show something towards the end.
What screen, Devraj?
No. I've joined in with a second screen. If you can just.
Okay. Wait. Oh, there is a. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Okay. Sorry about that. I didn't know there was a. Okay. I did. So, Devraj, we'll start with you. Somebody wants to start in this ABAP and get ready for 2026-27. Give me a roadmap, because I know you are an expert at roadmaps. I mean, the step by step. You know, we are all talking here. People are still here. You know what I'm saying? I see two there. Damn, I did not know we had to have two angles.
I know, Paul, you're muted, but I think I wanted to share my screen from this one. It didn't work, so I had to open up another screen to share something. So,
one more thing before you answer that question, for everyone who's joined this session, me, Devraj, and a couple other people are working on a very big guide for this. You know, coding smart in SAP ABAP with AI tool. The idea. See, I've been in EdTech education for 16 years. Everybody talks. Everybody's got information. Who's got the steps for me to follow? You know what I'm saying? Who's got that roadmap for me? So we are building this guide, which is what it says, a guide. It's gonna step you through all of this, all of that steps, and then we'll send it out or post it on my profile. As you know, I post all the guides for free. Devraj, the stage is yours.
You want me to? So I'm sharing my screen. I do not know why we can't see it. I don't know if others can see it. If you can bring my screen on, because I'm trying to.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, sorry.
So I know I want to show you the roadmap via a small demo, because I'm pretty sure a lot of you want to see demos, right?
Please.
Yeah. So what I have here is Visual Studio Code, and what you will see here is extensions that you can add, and I've added Lars's extensions here for VS Code. I've added client here, and I've added a client via two options. One via AI Core from SAP, so I can use the models inside of SAP, because I want to be ready, Paul, for SAP ABAP 1 whenever it comes out as a Christmas gift. Really want to try that out.
I have information about that too, by the way, if you want to know more. So,
okay, yeah, sure. I'll get to you that. Now, we're really interested in know that. And secondly, IBM has got something called IBM Consulting as a advantage, and we have got clean over there because there we have put our MCPs and a few other rule books in there that slightly differentiate us from just going to the wild west and just trying to look at everything. So given that I have client here and I've got IBM Consulting advantage, I opened client and said, okay, create a Hello World S-Flight application to create a trial request. All of us know S-Flight. We have all done S-Flight in our life if we're an ABAPer. And I said, show me the plan. I don't want to act. Show me the plan. It actually plans out the API request. It goes through the whole planning. It tells us exactly how will I do. He'll say what is my plan structure. It goes through the whole stack. If it does everything, this looks good. I want to change. You can actually change the plan in the first step. And once it's done, you then say act, and it goes and acts and actually generates the code. It generates the code, it puts in GitHub, you can execute, you can play around with it. So what I'm doing is I'm just showing you, and the code's coming up on the right side here. And I'm not saying it's not going to hallucinate. It will hallucinate a little bit, and that's the reason why I still have a job, and a lot of us ABAPers will have a job because the AI is going to hallucinate, and we're going to fix it, right? Think about it. Why do companies have HR managers? Because they have to control all the people there. So we need to control the bots, right? So that's the way I look at it. I always look at the fun side of stuff, right? So
Bot managers.
bot managers.
Yeah, there you go.
And then the code, obviously, I'm struggling to get this big screen back in the smaller one. I'll figure out how to do this. It's just not working. Yeah. And yeah, so here's if you see the code has been generated, it actually generates a whole code, and then I can take snippets of it, the whole thing of it. So what I've done here is I've told you step by step, go install VS Code, install the ABAP plugins that you need, install client here, and then basically start working on it. And I have in client chosen a LLM, which is AI Core Anthropic. So I'm using an AI Core Anthropic Cloud 4.5 Sonnet as it, and if I want, I can click a button and change it to something else. I can also move it to a different IBM Consulting advantage. I can move it to Kiro from AWS. I can move it to GitHub Copilot. I can flip around. So think of it like I'm the kitchen. I've got all the ingredients, and I'm going to create a dish. I am the designer of creating it. This is your playground. This is how you design it, right? And if you want to look at extensions, here are all extensions here. And I have all extensions that you can go through these extensions, decide which extensions are right for you and which extensions you need here. And you can see here's Lars's ABAP link, which I've installed, and there are a bunch of other things from ABAP, Lars, and a few others. So we'll keep posting some blogs, and we'll post some messages, and we'll probably give a PDF out to everybody saying these are the MCPs in which are available. These are the open source repositories, so that we kickstart everybody today. When you've come today and heard us talk, and we've shown you something, we want you to go and try it out on your own, right?
Yes.
And this you can try on your laptop without being connected to your company if your company doesn't allow you to connect. But please convince your companies to start using it because it's only going to benefit. So that's it from my side.
By the way, if your company
Yes.
is not allowing you to do these things, they are failing themselves. They are hurting their own productivity. I mean, I get that there's maybe security reasons and whatever. You gotta work through that. But like,
We need to put
if it's
guardrails
available,
in.
if it's available and you're not letting your people use it, you're failing.
Yeah. So Paul, you want to give us a quick update on the SAP?
Yeah. So
ABAP
the SAP ABAP 1, which was the model was announced. I first saw a mention of that as a model name on the stage at TechEd in Berlin. And the deeper information I got from I don't think I should say who I heard it from, but like I heard an inside source. Like SAP ABAP 1 is the model that powers Joule for developers ABAP AI capabilities, right? Mm-hmm. So there was a question earlier a few minutes ago about like which LLM is the best for generating accurate code.
Mm-hmm.
And my answer to that is that like if I want perfect syntax out of the box, maybe I'll choose SAP ABAP 1. Maybe that's really good. If I want code that does what I told it I want it to do, Opus by a million miles. Opus is so much smarter. So much smarter. Like SAP ABAP 1 maybe can tweak some syntax maybe a little bit better for SAP ABAP stuff, sure. But like like I just don't see the value in burning GPU time to like make syntax be letter perfect when like a smarter AI can recover from that, but also have better, bigger, smarter goals in mind to do that stuff.
Thanks.
And Lars has got a hand up.
Yeah, so I agree. So SAP is not an AI company. They don't need to train AI models.
Yeah.
It's fine if they do, and we'll see what comes out. But anything SAP, it will be difficult to buy. Getting Claude Opus that is pretty fine is very easy to buy. What was I thinking? Yeah, just get the feedback loop running. So if the model is wrong, then it goes fix it, right? I'm not waiting for the latest and greatest model from SAP. There's new models coming out all the time, every day, more or less. So be prepared to iterate, right? SAP's release schedule is perhaps half a year, right? Which is very slow in the industry of AI.
That's a million years in AI.
Yeah, that's a million years. And Paul, if I don't read AI paper for 2 weeks, I'm outdated, right?
You're done. Forget it. You're cooked. Go home and get a job as a carpenter, man. You're done, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Lars, I have a question for you. So what about debugging? Can AI assist in identifying performance issues?
We talked about the performance issues, but the debug, so I don't really have much experience in that. But I read in Alice's blog, one of the comments that she was having in her MCP, having it debug into the code actually to fix it. And also getting back to some of the other questions. So Alice is building the classic SOC game, and that is like purely algorithmic in a different language than what is usual, and it's pretty good for doing all the basic algorithmic reading binary files and whatever, remembering exactly where to look up things in the SAP system. Yeah, it might figure it out, but it also might need a bit of help.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just want to talk about one more small demo before I stop sharing the screen and we can all see our mugshots again. But this is a little pitch on what IBM is doing internally. So I want to show that is IBM Consulting Advantage. I choose the model here. You can see, you can choose the models, all the models that you want. You can choose here. I can choose different models here. I have prompts that I can give. I can enter rules. I can enter tools, and I have MCPs. So one good thing about here is you have MCPs, and this is where we can plug in Alice's MCPs and other MCPs that are available in here, so that you can then tell the model, hey, just don't take LMs from thing, take my prompts, take my rules, and take my MCPs and make them all work together. That's where they're stitching everything together. This is what is the tools that we want to talk about. And it is all, a lot of it is open source. Some of it is from companies like IBM, some of it is from SAP, some of it is no intelligence. It is, you have to figure out which one works for you best. Yeah. Over to you.
All right. So Devraj, this is a question which I'm getting quite a lot. What do you think a workflow is going to look like for a consultant in the future, for an ABAP consultant using AI? What like a daily workflow? I mean, kind of, I will always come back to the education side. You know what I'm saying? I know we have technology, we have development, we can't even keep up. Like you just said, 2 days, I can't keep up with what happened with technology. So I got a list of to-do items to learn. So, you know, that workflow, because there's so much stuff coming, you know. Go ahead.
I'll come to it. So if you look at workflows, Paul, I read your blog that you posted on the yesterday about what you thought about Q Developer and ABAP Accelerator, right?
Yeah.
So Q Developer from AWS is a great product. It allows you to do ABAP coding if you are aligned to AWS and have an AWS account or a Q Developer free account. You can still do quite a lot. But the game changing there is Kiro. So AWS has come out with something called Kiro, which is the Agentic IDE. And Kiro has got an ABAP MCP now plugged in, which helps them accelerate ABAP development. So if you guys want to try out, go and try out Kiro.ai, I think it is called.
Hold on. Let's just put that in the comments, please.
Yeah, let's put that in the comment.
Kiro.
Yeah. So
I don't
what
know
Kiro
what it
does, what client does, is they are an IDE that actually is agentic. You give them a problem, they'll ask you a lot of questions. Like if you go to a travel agent and say, I want to go on a vacation, he's going to ask, are you going with your family? Are you going with kids? Are you going for summer? Do you want to go to the beach or do you go to the mountains? And then they'll give you a solution, right? It's not like ask a question, give an answer. It doesn't matter, right? IDs is going to do that. They're going to ask you questions, and once you answer all the questions, it's going to build a pipeline for you. It's going to do the design for you. It's going to do the build for you. It's going to write the test scripts for you. It's going to do the pipelines to move the test scripts across the platform and do it. That's all is going to happen. And the cloud native world, be it Java or JavaScript or Python, people are already using it. It's the ABAP world is very slow, because I'm sure a lot of people on the call, they don't even know what ABAP Git is, right? And it's no offense to anybody here, but the fact is we are so much happy in the SC80 world that we don't see outside the SC80 world, right?
Yeah.
And automating anything in SC80 is going to be extremely difficult. So for me, the future is that you will have an agent that will do a lot of stuff, and when it gets stuck, and say, hey, Devraj, I'm stuck, please help me. You fix that bit, and it goes on and does the rest of it.
So look, I have an answer, a quick answer for that too.
Yeah, please
this
do.
workflow thing, and I can boil it down to 2 T's. Okay, theory and taste. Oh, my gestures are working on my Mac screen here.
I was like,
Theory and taste.
how are you
So
doing that?
so the workflow is going to
Nothing's
shift.
happening. Sorry.
The workflow is going to shift to you need to develop a solid theory of what you want to make, and then you need to have the taste at the end of the chain to decide that is that thing what I ultimately wanted to make. And the in-between bits are compressing in terms of the cycle time to get from theory to taste to done, right? That's my workflow, is in a super way too high level of sense. Theory and taste is what makes a workflow happen now.
Yeah, so I agree with Paul on the taste. That's just where I call it feedback. Like, so you need to taste the cookies to figure out if they're good, right? But yeah, so talking about workflow, I'm very inspired about from the outside world. I hope and would like to see more ABAP developers actively using GitHub, making a pull request, securing the code review and ownership in the organization, no matter if it comes from AI or non-AI, right? Running static analysis or dynamic analysis. And I think also this whole workflow thing, things are moving. It's clean core. There is something new. There's a new model. It's fine. I think it's much more about keeping the workflow running or keeping the core moving. That I like to say. I don't really like to say keeping the core clean. I think it's much more important to keep the core moving. Just make it move very fast. Make sure that. So it doesn't really matter if the AI can make it in 5 minutes if the change management procedure takes 5 days, right?
Yeah.
So you do need to put it all together and keep the core moving, work on the change management and the development process end to end.
Mr. Debelic, would love to hear from you too.
Yeah, I don't know how I can add to all this. Maybe just a small comment, stepping out of this, like Devraj said, SE80 comfort zone or even ADT comfort zone. So basically, trying, like we already heard from Lars, also going for GitHub, going for this kind of different approach. It's not easy. Everyone who tried this with ABAP learned the hard way that it is not easy, that there are a lot of limitations, but addressing these limitations, and there are more and more of AI, you name it, which is we live in great times. So it's if you asked me 5 years ago about this, I don't know what I could say. It's all nice wishes.
Yeah.
Let's use ABAP Git. Let's do some kind of DevOps and stuff like that. But in reality, not really easy. But now I think we can see the light at the end of the tunnel, at least glimpse.
All right, I've got a question for. This is a very, very basic question. You've heard this. Okay, I'm gonna start with Devraj. Will AI replace ABAP developers?
So again, the same standard answer. AI is not going to replace an ABAP developer. Replace a developer who's not using ABAP, not AI to develop, right? Because come what may, GitHub, Microsoft 365 Copilot is there. It's on a desktop. You're using it. Your children are using it. We're doing the homework. Forget about anything else, right? They're using it. How can you not use it, right? So I think AI is here. We should use it. It was don't be like that. Professors or teachers way back in the '60s not allow calculators in the classroom, right? Where are they today, right? So I think it is there. We will have to use it. It will hallucinate. We have to fix it. Don't look at it as a negative thing. Take it as a challenge because challenge is good. Keeps us all honest. Keeps us all in the job and keeps us all moving forward, right?
Yep, yep. So
And
after
open
this,
source, open source. We cannot let one company build a solution. It has to be a community that needs to build a
absolutely.
solution and plug it in. One of the reasons why I and Alok are doing it is because we've seen so much goodness on the internet with all open source items coming up. We want to collate it and make it available to everybody for free so that you guys can do it. And everything that's showed today on the screen is free. You guys can try it on your laptop today or tomorrow morning. Just log in, install VS Code, get started. Nothing's going to stop you. You can't connect your system, backend system of SAP. Doesn't matter. Just connect to free as SAP system somewhere that you can connect to try things out on laptop without SAP backend system.
Correct, correct. Yeah, what Devraj you said, I want to add something to it. There's a lot of knowledge. I've been in this industry for 16 years. I talk to talent all the time. Here is the knowledge. Here is the talent. There is people, and the gap is too big. Me and Devraj been trying to do that. Lars, Alex, Paul, you guys have so much knowledge, but it's just, and we post some things on community that is very few read it. It's, and then the basic questions which come to us. I mean, it's not like 5 people asking that question. It's like 500 people asking that same question. I'm like, on one hand, you're talking to talent at this level, and then on another hand, you're like 500 people asking this basic question: if AI is going to replace ABAP, So that's what we're trying to. Me and Devraj are trying to get that information out, bring talent like you guys in here. Talk to people. This is our last question and last topic we're going to talk about, and after that we're going to take questions from everyone. So if you have a question, please post it in the comments. I'll bring it up. All right, Lars, is AI going to replace ABAP developers?
No, ABAP is like the sun. It will keep shining for a million of years. And
nice.
also at how much time do I spend actually developing? I actually don't spend much time developing. Is that good or bad? I don't know, right? But doing debugging, understanding data, so you need to give it a prompt, right? So go fix all the errors in the system. Yeah, it will go do something, right? But there's still a lot of work that is not coding, and coding will also stay. It might just be faster because you have AI to help in that. So no.
All right, Paul.
So I'm going to be slightly contrarian here. Not that I think it will replace ABAP developers, but I think what it means to be an ABAP developer will drastically change. And possibly soon. And I actually think that the utility and power and capability that you can gain for yourself will mean that it's like the augmentation you can get to yourself is more than just the writing code, much more than just the writing code. And so where let's just say that like 2 years ago, you could do 1 unit of work, whatever that means, in a week, right? I think even now, but especially very soon from now, that there's a multiple of that. And that's because code writing, but also other intellectual activities that you do may not be replaced, but will definitely be greatly enhanced by AI doing things with you. So that 1 unit becomes 2, 3, 5, whatever that number is.
Absolutely.
And the way that you go about doing it, like if we had this same meeting at this calendar date next year, I would strongly bet that all of us will be like, wow, things really changed this year, and things really advanced and happened. And but I also would bet that we will all still be sitting in this meeting doing things with this stuff.
Absolutely. Mr. Debelic.
Yeah, I mean, all I can say, I see AI not as a replacement, but as an opportunity, as let's say a virtual person to work side by side, to do things better, faster. I mean, you name it. So basically, definitely. Again, I'm repeating what I said. We are living in some great times, and things are changing every day, and everyone needs to jump on that train. Yeah. Great.
What was that? All right. So one last round we're gonna do with Devraj. That's you. Okay, ABAP AI is not gonna replace ABAP developers, but let's say a company has customer has about 20 ABAP developers, but is AI gonna reduce that number?
So AI will probably reduce the number of developers, and also ABAP developers will morph into just not ABAP, but you'll do ABAP, you'll do CAPM, you'll do JavaScript, Node.js, you'll do Python, you'll do Fury, you'll do stack development, you'll do some BTP, BPA development, you'll do Joule Studio, Joule Skills. So the role is going to change. It'll do much more than you just did ABAP. I mean, think of it. When I started BAP, we used to do still a lot. We used to do reports, we used to do BW, we used to do forms. We did a lot of things. We did a lot. We did interfaces, bodies, everything, right? Same thing happening, but it's just not one language, but multiple tools now. So I think that's going to change. The Obviously the pressure is to reduce the number of developers and make developers more performant. That means you use an AI tool to maybe reduce the number of developers you have, which may be what the market is going towards. But SAP developers reducing is still quite difficult because of the limitation that we have the ABAP language. But we are seeing that the developers are being reduced in other areas like Java or Python and other places. So yes, it will eventually come. The number of developers will reduce over time, but they'll do a lot more than just do ABAP. That's where. So you should just not be doing the ABAP. You should know functionally something. You should understand BTP. You will have to understand what is new with agents, and that's going to keep all of us in a job.
All right. So I got a question here. I'm going to highlight that. This is from Mr. Zhao. Mr. Zhao, how about fresher entry-level ABAP job impacted by AI for future regeneration we are getting over? Yeah. I think I understand the first part. Who wants to take this? Paul, you want to take this?
I'm not sure. So I do have some things to say about. I'm not sure I understand the question exactly, but I'm just going to hop on a soapbox anyway and talk about something that's related to this, which is in the job space, the data is clear. And Devraj, you might have seen this in the newsletter I wrote about this week too. Like the young people out there are feeling the effect of something in the software marketplace. Like they're having a much harder time finding the entry-level jobs, at least in the United States. The data is very clear about that. I talked to a person who goes to school in my local community, and they're at the University of Minnesota in a technology program. And this person and every single peer that this person knows has the same anxiety of like, we can't find internships. We can't find the entry-level jobs. Like, I don't know whether to assign the cause to AI, probably some percentage of it, but like, let's just be real. Those of us who happen to have been lucky enough to enter the world in a time and place where it was easier to get that stuff, I think we, like, the people who helped me, I owe it to the young people to pass that down to them too in some way, whatever that might be, to help them do something. Because right now the world is not being quite fair in some sense. to those young people who are having a much harder time than some of us had to get in there. So I don't know if Irvian, that probably doesn't even come close to answering your question, but if I was a fresher or entry level person, I would immediately start turning all of my focus, or almost all of my focus, to developing people connections and developing networking and developing like an ability to go above and beyond memorizing syntax and typing code. Like, you need to make your impact felt in ways that are that humans can empathize with you in doing things.
Lars, I want to hear from you.
On the same question.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with Paul. It's probably getting more difficult to get in and learn something. So yeah, going back to the question, will it give fewer or ABAP developers as such? Yeah, perhaps it will also give more ABAP developers. Like your question, will a line of business be able to vibe code some ABAP? Yeah, maybe, like, and also spreading your knowledge, right? So until a few months ago, I've never done any Python development. Now I'm doing Python development, just asking the AI to write the Python code. But like in ABAP, it does require a lot of background knowledge and business knowledge to be able to take an error and actually fix it, and or build a solution to a functional requirements.
Perfect. All right, we'll take another question we have right here. And I think after that, we'll call it a day. There you go. In future, do you see ABAP will finally cover full stack apps on-prem, cloud, so will be the default language for BTP, BAS, and VS Code projects around SAP development? Who wants to do? I know, Devraj, you. I can't hear you.
Your mic is muted.
Yeah. I think Lars, Alex, you want to take this, because this is pretty much exactly your area.
Oh, well, it's difficult to say. I mean, from this perspective, I would probably say no, but yeah, it depends. It's difficult to judge right now how things are going with SAP. Yeah, I'm not sure how to respond to this, but probably not. Yeah.
Anyone else wants to pitch in?
I guess I sort of also, along with Alex saying probably not, I kind of also sort of hope not. Like, I don't think the language and the runtime were really meant to do everything in the stack.
Yeah.
So
Right.
if
Like
SAP
it is
did
not
want to
there.
do this, they would want something else with the language first to make it
All right.
more full stack.
Lars, do you want to add some final words before we say goodbye?
Yeah, there's always a few words, like so yeah, but there's also a lot of things that ABAP does pretty well, like the integration with database. So it is as such a background or a back-end programming language, right? But the gap between programming languages will probably become smaller, right? And Alice hopes to spend her future doing COBOL if ABAP disappears. I hope to do PL1 programming when I start my ABAP career, right?
Awesome. I need to bring the Alice here sometime, huh? In this session.
100%.
Had her being mentioned so many times.
100%.
Yeah. Well, Devraj, Lars.
Yeah. So for me, the last point I want to make is, if you look at BAS is nothing but a kind of a fork of VS Code, if I'm not wrong, right? So I think I think the world is moving towards VS Code pretty much. Yeah. So that is, the question is, can we do everything in VS Code or not? And it's not a bad thing that you have to do you have to use two different IDs to get work done. If you're efficient and you can get it done, why not, right? If it means that you need to take a car to a certain location and then jump into a train, to go through the city and to the other end of the city, that's still okay. You take the car, you park in the station, jump on a metro, go to the other end, finish your work, come back, and then drive back home. It's still good enough. So you're using two modes of transport to get the job done. Why not? It's not the most ideal thing, but in the SAP world, we're used to it, right? So we just take it, on the face value and say this is what it is. That's what we'll have to do. But with AI and with all the AI developments happening and plugins available in VS Code, it just SAP had to finally agree to do VS Code, right? They
Yes.
rested it for a very, very long time.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, it's about 11:20. We'll call it a session here. Amazing session. Beyond my expectation. Thank you all for doing this for me. Devraj, Lars, we'll do a lot more. Paul, Alex, thank you for being here. Thank you. For
Yelena
being
was on the chat. She was answering a lot of questions. She was giving a lot of links, which is amazing.
Yes.
Alex
Yes.
is there. So we will look at all the people who came in today and we'll try to get them on. I think this is just going to become a regular thing, right?
Yes.
I
Yes.
think this is so interesting, like I think we should just do more of it and get more of the community involved, and let's see how we can drive the whole change, because at least the change will come when the community wants to change. It won't happen because one company wants to change.
You said it perfect. But thanks, Devraj, for the insights, hands-on. Paul, thanks for jumping in. Alex, amazing. You talk less, but when you talk, it's solid. Lars, Lars, thank you so much. And one thing I want to tell you, AI is not replacing developers. It's only upgrading them. That's it. That's my statement. That's my final statement. And today's session actually showed you how ABAP developers can embrace this shift. So thank you all for joining. If you want the recording for this session, it will be in my post. Have a good one. Bye now.
Cheers.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Have fun.